All right, friends, it's T, and I'm back with another video. You could say this is an educational video, Q&A type of thing. I just want to explain something in this video. I'll talk about this report, this NCBI report. I got to talk about something in there. But before I do, I want to explain to you that muscle building is not based on performance. Now, like again, I see like these people online. They're all performing and they keep telling you you're building muscle. I'm going to explain to you one more time. Building muscle is not based on performance. It's not based on performance. It's based on muscle building. It can't be performance, and you want to know why I can prove it. In this NCBI report here, it says pathophysiology of exercise-induced muscle damage and its structural function, metabolic, and clinical consequences. Okay, it has consequences. Listen to what they say. And its structural function, metabolic, and clinical consequences. Okay. Well, when you open this page, this is one of the first things that come out. So I might actually open it. So in the summary section, it says here in summary, it says extreme or unaccustomed eccentric exercise. What do they mean by extreme? I'll tell you what they mean by extreme. An overworking of that muscle. That could be considered extreme, like you really overdid it, overworked it. Or an unaccustomed eccentric exercise can cause exercise-induced muscle damage. These are the things that cause exercise-induced muscle damage. But it can't happen with a repeated bout. You can't damage muscles every single day. They won't damage every day. It's impossible to keep going to a gym 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times and damaging muscles in gym. So when people are saying, well, my muscles are getting damaged, so I'm growing muscles, you're not damaging them. That's not what's making them grow. You already, once you are, what a unique feature, when I put in my community section, a unique feature of untrained people is they get stiff and sore the next day due to muscle damage. That's what they get. And they get an influx of these nuclei, because that's what it shows you in nuclei overload, precedes hypertrophy, not lost in detraining in NCBI. That map they're trying to show you reached the ceiling limit. Well, you have the nuclei. Now, what makes the muscles big? When protein synthesis exceeds protein breakdown? Yes, definitely. But because you have more nuclei, now that you acquired more nuclei, you build them through protein. The more protein you eat, the bigger those muscles shall mass up, the bigger they get. They don't require lifting weights to get bigger. They require a lot of protein, and I mean a lot, to get them bigger because the nuclei synthesize protein. Get it, dude? So, but anyways, regardless, like I said, it can't be based, it's not about that. This video is really based about performance. So damaging muscles and trying to get an influx of these nuclei and then attempt to synthesize protein and get bigger, that domain get bigger, the MND size domain get bigger. So you can bypass MND size limit because it reached the ceiling limit, right? Like it says, right? So you need this progenitor cell to support further muscle growth, okay? So you need a relative amount of damage every so often to keep furthering that domain. But it's not based on performance, I'll tell you why. So building real muscle and getting these nuclei from the satellite cell, re-damaging them, rebuilding them, damaging them, rebuilding them. I'm not talking about eating carbohydrate, fake-induced carbohydrate drug addict diets and faking it, creating artificial muscles, eating an artificial diet. An artificial diet is something that is not your diet. An artificial diet is something that is like sugar. Sugar is an artificial diet. Loads glycogen in the muscle and also fat cells. So it's an energy source and you're faking it, okay? So like I said, when you're building real muscles, you'll know. Get nuclei, get this damage, whatever. But it's not based on performance. Why is that? Well, because they tell you here, when you do get this damage, right? They tell you from a functional point of view, disrupted force transmission, altered calcium homeostasis, disruption of excitation, contraction, coupling, as well as metabolic changes bring about loss in what? loss in strength. So if you're damaging muscles like Blaha says and all these other guys like Alpha Destiny and what's his fucking name, Mike fucking O'Hearn, and who are these other assholes out there? I don't know, Israel and everybody else out there, dude. They're all telling you you're getting muscle damage. You're damaging the fibers. The fibers are getting damaged, and you're rebuilding and building muscles. Well, yeah, it's not based on performance, and once they get damaged, they still need to go through a repair and a remodeling, and that's going to take you over a week period, providing you're in a positive nitrogen balance. If you don't know what that means, I think you need to go study science. Okay, so like it says here, loss of strength. Importantly, the trauma also invokes an inflammatory response and clinically presents itself by swelling, decreased range of motion, increased passive tension, soreness, and a transient decrease in insulin sensitivity. While being damaged and influencing heavily on the ability to perform, influencing heavily on the ability to perform, repeated bouts of exercise changes produced by exercise-induced muscle damage seem to play a crucial role in myofibrillar adaptation. It does. So what happens is it gets damaged, it repairs and remodels, there's an influx of some nuclei, it repairs and remodels stronger. They did give you some nuclei because you were untrained, but then it repairs and remodels a lot stronger, so it's now resilient from further assaults. It does not get damaged with repeated bouts, and it's really hard to damage that muscle again. You have to damage some weaker muscles if you can. And so it protects it now. So now everything is based on performance. There is no muscle building anymore. You're going to the gym to be a performing slave, a monkey. You are going to the gym to be a clown and a monkey to perform. You are not building any more natural strength by creating more natural muscle. You're not creating natural muscle to increase your natural strength, to keep increasing it without having to be a lifting gym monkey slave. Get it? A clown in the gym, lifting all the time, performing like a clown, like Alpha Destiny. He's a performer on his channel. Go look at him. He's performing, doing pull-ups all day, doing weird pull-ups and this and that. He's a performer. He's not building any muscle. He's pretend building. See what I mean? Because muscle damage doesn't allow you to perform. So there you go. So like they say here, there's changes, whatever. Additionally, eccentric exercise yields greater hypertrophy than isometric or concentric contractions. And that's what Alpha Destiny is based on. That's why he's not growing. Get it? Because he's a performer. He's based on concentric movements and isometric bullshit. So, whatever, less in terms of metabolic energy and cardiovascular stress, making it especially suitable for the elderly. Well, it's suitable for elderly eccentric exercises than concentric because there's less force involved, there's less work involved. It's like running up a stairs. You got to run upstairs. That's concentric. But when you run down a flight of stairs, it's a lot easier because the velocity, you're going with gravity. You're not going against gravity. You're going with gravity. There's a pulling and a stretch and whatever. So there you go. That's what makes it so much easier, so much more superior, a whole bunch of things, but whatever. Okay, whatever. To get this damage, to build muscles, whatever. Okay, so the elderly, the elderly and people with chronic diseases. That's why it's so good. This review focuses on our current knowledge of the mechanisms underlying exercise-induced muscle damage and their dependence on genetic background, as well as their consequences at the structural, functional, metabolic, and clinical level. Well, that's the problem with it. Okay, comprehensive understanding of this is a prerequisite for proper inclusion of eccentric training in health promotion, rehabilitation, and performance enhancement. Well, it does enhance your performance, but it fucks your performance if you're a slave, a gym lifting slave. You understand me? It doesn't work for people. Trying to build muscle, damaging muscles, and trying to build them, trying to build them through damaging and then trying to build them. It's not based on performance. You can't be a person that is focused on performance. Otherwise, you'll never build muscles. You'll have pretend muscles by eating carbohydrates, but that's not real muscles. And then all your strength, their lifting strength, is based on chemical strength because your body doesn't want you to build any more muscle. That's all. It's really simple, bro. So if a person, like it says here, isometric exercise, whatever, bro, producing force in clinical exercise shortens an eccentric exercise, blah. Okay, scroll down a bit here. They'll tell you, it says, if a person is unaccustomed to a specific exercise, or if it is of greater than normal intensity or duration, intensity, duration. I work out for 3 hours, get muscle damage. The most ever I worked out was 4, but 3.5 hours, 3 hours, you get a full upper body. So this is what you would call duration, and that would be a lot of intensity because I'm working every muscle group. And I'm usually in a state of where it's kind of unaccustomed. You could say that. I don't know how to explain that, but whatever. Okay, so however, exercise-induced muscle damage. Okay, so with greater intention, exercise can cause damage and pain. This can cause, If a person is accustomed to specific exercises greater than normal intensity duration, all forms of exercise can cause damage and pain. They can. However, exercise-induced muscle damage, EIMD, is most often caused by high-intensity eccentric exercise. It is. But nobody's doing that in the gym. And hold on, you can't be previously damaged. There can't be any damage anywhere in your body previously. Otherwise, it'll be protected. And so even if you do high-intensity eccentric exercise, you can get rhabdo because now you can try to force proteins to break down. That's how people get rhabdo. Anyways, this is most probably because fewer motor units are recruited during eccentric exercise. They're not being recruited because you're going with gravity, not against gravity. You recruit more motor units when you go against gravity, which is the concentric movement, the up force. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. I mean, hello. So during eccentric exercise, compared with other modes of contractions, resulting in greater force per active motor unit and thus greater mechanical stress. Well, I don't know. It depends, right? There could be a lot of mechanical stress going down force. Depends how much you're lifting. I don't know. You usually can move weight in the opposite direction a lot more than you can pull weight. You can move with the weight than pulling it. Okay, in addition to mechanical stress, metabolic stress could also have a role in EIMD associated with eccentric exercises. Probably most responsible cases of EIMD occur with lower intensity endurance exercises, where eccentric contractions is not the only predominant mode of contraction, such as cycling or running. I like running. Downhill running gets you the most damage. It gets you more damage than going flat and fast or going in the concentric movement, going uphill. Always downhill running gets you the most damage in your legs because there's a stopping motion. That stopping and pulling motion on the myofibrillar causes the damage, causes the micro injuries or damages to the muscle fibers, which will come back a lot bigger and stronger eventually. Yes. I don't know what else to say there, man. So yeah, I'm not gonna go through this whole thing. I just wanted to talk about that in the beginning. So muscle damage, building muscle has nothing to do with performance. You can't perform and build muscle. You can't perform and build muscle. You have to choose which one you want to do. That's why they tell you once it gets damaged, now you can perform without any damage. It won't cause you to be weak or anything like that. So now you become a lifting gym monkey slave in the gym. Anyways, tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, man. And I'm talking about in the natural world. I'm not talking about people faking it, creating fake Ferraris, injecting plant genetics, okay? Creating fake muscles. And then telling you that, I put in the work. Yeah, you put in the work to create something fake, okay? And then it disappeared. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends. That was funny, man.